Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
Very good, Ibrahim. Yes. So we're going to start now, right? I was just I had a very busy day. I didn't have anything to eat until now, so I just grabbed cornflakes, and I think I'm good to go now. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Shall we start now? Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, so hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mama.
Yes, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Mama. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Good. Right. So, shall we start the class, please, everyone? Are we ready to go?
Yeah, we can move on.
We can move on.
Yes.
Good. So, yeah, I think we can move on. Right. So, last week we were looking at target costing. Okay. We started the exam type question week was Edwards Company Limited, but we couldn't complete it. Actually, I was just explaining the ABC part. Those were the theory parts. Okay, so today we're going to continue with that. I'll just briefly explain the ABC part again, and then we're going to do the calculations. So the question is a bit long, and hopefully that will take us for the rest of the day today. And when we meet next week, inshallah, we will start with life cycle costing. Okay, we'll start with life cycle costing. Right. So before we go to our question, shall we have a quick recap on target costing? Okay. I think last week we went through target costing in details, and I gave live examples, especially applicable to our own situation here in the Gambia. So I definitely hope that you very well understand target costing, especially if you had reviewed after class last week. That's my guess. So right, quickly, who can sum up what target costing is all about from your understanding of last class? Mahmoud, you have a nice office, eh? I hope that's not director's office, huh?
Mr. Fumana, I forgot to mute my
That is
camera.
okay. You're fine. We can see you. It's okay. So long as you have good, if you have good internet, you can put your video on. You know.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'm using the internet. I have a good internet.
Yes. That's fine. That's good.
Thank you.
Right. So target costing. Can someone explain to us what target costing is all about in brief?
Well, let me give a
try. Makam, okay, Makam Jao, yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Give it a try, yes.
We did mention last week that target costing is where the customer chooses the product he wants to produce and make research on the price and cost involved, whatever, then
The customer or the seller, the business person.
seller is an
The
oversight.
seller. Okay, fine. Okay.
Based on his research, he will set a selling price, and from that selling price, you
Mhm.
will determine your target profit from that.
Okay.
Yes, you will set a certain percentage. That is your that would be your profit from the selling price.
Okay.
And, yeah, and then you compare your cost, your target cost with a activity based absorption costing method where you are
Okay.
able to yes where you
Okay.
are
So
able to
you compare your target cost to your current unit cost using your
yes
either
using
adoption costing or ABC methods.
yes using those costing method,
Mhm.
which will enable you to do value engineering where you can try to minimize costs using value engineering.
Okay. That's after comparing your target cost to your
Your
um,
unit cost.
target cost to your current unit cost
Yes,
or your budgeted unit cost,
yes.
you will find a gap. You'll find a
Between the two.
difference between the two numbers.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So those two numbers, the gap can be bridged by using value engineering. Okay, so what is value engineering, Maka? Okay, actually, good try, Makam, good try. Who can move from there? Who can put a bit of a flesh to it? For example, if you're going to do um, if you're going to determine your selling price, what do you do? What activity do you do? If you're going to determine your target selling price, that's the selling price you are going to use to sell your products after they have been completely produced. Okay. So what method do you undergo to determine your selling price?
If I may comment,
No, Makam, let's give chance to someone else. Abdul Aziz now. Abdul, are you with us? If you don't come up, I will choose you. Yeah? Abdul Aziz?
Hello, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Mariam, you want to try? Mariam Hydra, yes, go ahead, Mariam.
Yeah, I want to try. You do your market research to have your
Mm-hmm.
product design stage.
Okay, so
Yeah, and then where
at
you
your
determine
product
your selling
design
price
stage,
based on the market price. Yes.
yes, let's make this clear. At your product design stage, design, this is before you even think of production. This is when you are
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
build a concept around what
Yes.
sort of product you want to produce. So at the
Mm-hmm.
design stage, that's when you do the market research. And the market research will entail
Research.
going to organizations that does similar products with the organizations and find out the whole production processes and all the costs and of course benefits attached to it. So like I said to you, market research, its objective is not just for you to know the selling price, but also of course to know the processes, the costs, and everything about the product. Okay, yeah. So from there, Mariam.
From there, you determine your selling price,
Okay, so
whereby
maybe you can
when
choose
yeah, after deciding the selling,
maybe you can choose an average selling price or so.
yeah, and
Okay,
then you attach your profit percentage on it.
okay. So the profit percentage, how does it come about? Do you just think and take any percentage, or I'm going to use 15%, or I'm going to use 5%? How do you arrive at your profit percentage?
I think you compare you based on the based on the market price, where and the value, the product, whereby whereby when you sell, you will make a profit. I don't know how to explain.
Okay, good try.
Yeah.
Who can help her? Who can help her? That's good. That was good, Mariam. So, how do you determine your selling price? We know that. Sorry, how do you determine your profit margin? We know that you take a percentage. Does the organization just decide and say, okay, I'm going to use this, percentage like that? How do you come about with your profit percentage? Ibrahim Adabo?
Mr. Fofana,
Yes.
okay. To determine your profit margin, first of all, after knowing your production cost, after knowing your production cost, then when you attach your target selling price, when you know it already, then you can try and check the profit.
Yeah, well, we know all that. Those stages are fine. But what I'm trying to say is the selling price, sorry, the profit itself was the stage where we are at. We said you take a percentage and apply it on the selling price so that you can have your profit figure, and then from there you move to your target cost. But that percentage, how do you determine it? That's my question. You determine any percentage or what?
Yeah, that percentage can be calculated.
Okay.
Yeah, you calculate that percentage.
You calculate that percentage.
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree with Ibrahim that you just calculate that percentage? Adese. Yes, help us, Adese. Okay, let's be fast. Who can answer that question? How do you determine the percentage of your profit margin? How do you determine it? Who can help? Who can help? Hello, yes. Who can answer that question, please? Okay, just to help you, I said this many times during last class. Your profit margin is a profit margin that will be set by the management of the organization. Okay? In some organizations, this will be determined by the board of directors because this is where pricing strategies take place. So you will have a fixed percentage that will usually be used as a margin on all your sales. Is that clear? Is that clear? Hello?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
clear.
good.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so let's move. So the last stage will be determining, not the last stage actually, the second to last stage will be determining your target cost. So to get your target cost, it will be your selling price that you determine less your profit to arrive at your target cost. Okay, so now the final stage will be use that target cost to compare to your unit cost, to your current unit cost. To arrive at your current unit cost, you have to calculate your unit cost by using either your ABC method or by using your absorption cost, depending on the costing regime you are, adopting at the time. Okay, so let's take note of this. I think now we need to move. So any questions as to target costing, what we have done so far? Any questions? I just want us to move to the question directly so that we can complete the D part as well. Okay, any questions? Any contributions?
Yeah, Mr. Fofana, can you elaborate on how the fixed percent, because you said that when the profit margin is determined by the board will give the fixed percentage that the company can act on it to get your profit margin. So how are they going about this profit giving this percentage to the company?
Okay, Ibrahim, yes, I just explained that every organization has got procedures. Every organization has got a business strategy. Okay? Every operations you undergo is guided by rules and regulations. So those are stipulated in your financial manual, which of course is derived from your organization strategy. Okay, so on that strategy, on that financial manual, it will be stipulated how you do your pricing. Okay, how do you price your products? Okay, when you're pricing your products, of course, you will have a percentage. The organization will determine a percentage. This can be done at management level or it can be done at board level, depending on the nature of the organization. Okay, so the board or management could say, if we produce our products, we are going to use 10% profit margin. Okay, they don't just pluck it on the air, but they will base it on research, and then they will base it on comparison between them and similar organizations. Okay, so if you've determined your selling price, the next stage will be to find your profit, and that profit will be calculated based on the profit margin that is stipulated in the organization's manuals. Is that clear, Brian?
Yeah, very clear.
Good, good. Excellent. So let's move. Let's move. Any more questions, please? Any more questions, please? Okay, I think we have to move. Okay. Right, so we have to move. Okay, so we were looking at Edwards Company Limited. Okay, we started it last week. Please, if you have not got a copy of this, can you make a screenshot of it here? I have the screenshot here. So I have it on the screen now. Can you see my screen? Can you see it on the screen?
Yes, it is visible.
Hello, can you see it on the question? So the second part of the question is this. Okay, first part and second part. So if you have not got the question, can you screenshot it so that you have it handy? Because we're going to move to our spreadsheet so we can do the answer. Okay, is that okay? This question was already part of the notes, the handouts, the soft copy of the handout that I sent last week. So it's already there, it's already attached there. Okay, in case you have not got it handy, you can screenshot it here and use it. Right, so I'm going to go through the question again so that you can understand it, just the first part. Okay, it says, Edwards Company assembles and sells many types of radio. It is considering extending its product range to include digital radios. These radios produce a better sound quality than traditional radios and have a large number of potential additional features. Potential additional features. Okay? These radios produce a better sound quality than traditional radios and have a large number of potential additional features not possible with previous technologies. Okay, that's the old types of radios. So some of those features are station scanning, more choice of station, one-touch tuning, so you don't have to use a knob to tune, but you can just use a screen to, type in, how to call it, the frequency of the radio, as we can all see on our, on the radios on our smartphone and so on and so forth. Okay, one-touch tuning, station identification text, and song identification text, just like you can see on your radio, your digital radio. Okay, a radio is produced by assembly workers assembling a variety of components. Okay, production overheads are currently absorbed into product cost on an assembly hour basis. Okay, Edwards Company is considered a target costing approach for its new digital radio product. Okay, so I've explained to you last week how, in the West, production companies, how they operate. They don't necessarily have to produce every part of the radio or every part of the equipment, but what they do is they order various parts, when a customer places an order, they will order those various parts and assemble them. So what they will have in their warehouse will be only parts. So when a customer places an order, they will assemble it and then deliver it to the customer. Okay. So Edwards Company is considered a target costing approach for its new digital radio. You are required to, as briefly describe the target costing process that Edwards Company should undertake. Okay, we looked at this out last week. So I said you should make reference to this part also. The same question, so you have information here, so you need to make a reference to it when you are answering. So the first part, we know is simple. We have to follow our steps. So before you go ahead with it, first you have to explain what target costing is before you just start explaining the steps. So first, explain what target costing is. And then secondly, you mention the steps. And each step you mention, try to apply it to Edwards Company Limited, okay, as much as possible based on the data that is provided. Okay, you say the first stage will be what? To do market research. So if you're going to say stage one, do a market research. If you stop at saying do market research, you have not earned anything. Okay, so if you say stage one, do market research, you have to explain how do you do market research. Edwards Company Limited can do market research by contacting companies that are into digital radio. Okay, they can ask about their processes, they can ask about their prices, they can ask about the technology they are using, and so on and so forth. So you explain all that. Okay, 5 marks, like I was telling you, to get 5 marks, you have to talk about at least 10 relevant points. To gain 5 marks, you have to write down at least 10 relevant points. You understand? You cannot write stage one, do market research, and you stop there and you expect to get one mark for that. No way. You cannot get even half for saying that. Okay. So the second stage will be to after the market research, of course, the product of the market research is to find an average price or your target selling price. Then the second stage will be to determine your what do you determine next? Your profit, isn't it? So to determine your profit, you have to elaborate on that. The organization needs to make reference to its strategic plan, to its operational manual, and so on and so forth. Okay, where the how to call it, where the profit margin will be stipulated. Okay? Then the third stage will be to calculate the target cost, which will be the difference between the selling price and the target profit. Then the third stage, of course, the fourth stage will be to find the cost gap and so on and so on. So we mentioned all that and we try to relate it to the case as much as possible. So B, explain the benefits to Edwards Company for adopting a target costing approach at such an early stage in the project life, in the product development process. Okay, so that one also, we know the benefits. You don't even have to read any book. We know there are lots of benefits that target costing can bring to an organization. Lots of them. Okay, we mentioned some. Okay, one of them is what? The product that you're going to produce at the end of the day will have high demand because already you have done your research and then you came out with a price that will be reasonable in the market. You've already put the market into consideration. So that's one advantage. So by coming up with a product that will be highly demanded, it has got a lot of other interpretations. Okay, if it is highly demanded, then that means your turnover will increase. Your turnover will be very high, and if your turnover is high, there is a high likelihood that you'll have a huge profitability. The market capitalization of your organization will go high. Your market penetration will be high. The organization will have good goodwill. So many benefits that how to call it, Edwards Company can derive by using a target costing at a design stage. Okay, so you always mention Edwards Company, and then try to cite situations whereby you're giving data on the question. So the C part is assuming a cost gap was identified in the process, outline possible steps Edwards Company Limited could take to reduce this gap. So before you outline the steps, first you have to say what a cost gap is. A cost gap will be the difference between our current unit cost using our ABC method or our absorption costing method by comparing that current costing method with our target cost. So the difference will be the gap. Okay, the difference will be the gap. So usually the current unit cost will be higher than the target cost. So that gap needs to be filled. It needs to be bridged. How do you bridge it? You make use of what? You make use of, what do you make use of? Value engineering. You make use of value engineering. And you can explain what value engineering is and then try to apply it in this case. In our own case, like I explained the last time, value engineering will mean a lot of things, with relevance to Edwards Company. When we say, first we look at the product itself, this digital radio. As you can see on this part, there are some materials that are involved, like circuit board, wiring, the other materials, the label. So you have to comment on each of these. Like for example, component one, you can say you have to look at the current price of component one and then see where you can get a substitute product for the circuit board. And that substitute product should cost less and it should do the same job. You understand? So component two, the other material is the same. So for label, you can look at the moment the label that's employed on it are skilled people. Okay, so you can say Edwards Company Limited could assess the labor cost of producing this digital radio. Okay, because at the moment they are using skilled people, so they could see whether it's possible to use a lower quality of labor that will be able to produce the same quality digital radio, because there is not much technology involved in this, comparatively, because what the workers are going to do, they will assemble parts. So if you're using highly skilled people, maybe you can ask whether there is an option of giving a lower a lower skill level, because a lower skill level will attract less cost compared to a skill level. Okay, there are no right and wrong answers. It depends on how you are able to, how to call it out, how you are able to, consolidate your points, how you are able to back up your points. I think that's really, really important. Okay, so this is the way to answer questions like this. Okay, so this is why when you look at the last part has got what, 7 marks compared to A and B. So A and B are only 5 marks each, but this one is 7 marks. So 7 marks, like I said, at least you have to say 14 different good points. Okay? Okay, are you with me? I'm trying to tell you the tricks that you can use in answering a question. You cannot get a 7 marker when you write 7 points. It's not possible. Those points, some of them might not be relevant. And just to write 1 point, 1 sentence cannot give you 1 full mark. It's not possible. Okay? No matter how correct that sentence is. Okay? So you have to do a lot of justification, and then you have to do a lot of application. Like I said, this is about knowing the theory and applying it to the scenario, to the situation they have given you in the question. Okay? Is that clear?
Yeah, it's very clear. But Mr. Fofana, I think that one is the way you are, is the way of your marking skills, or